Greetings and salutations, friends. My name is, of course, Charles Q. Banks, and I'd like to welcome you to another discussion video in black and white. And today I shall be talking about some harsh realities of life, particularly those which have been bashing themselves against my head recently, and some of my conclusions which I've drawn from thinking about these issues. And I am wearing goggles because some of these truths are so blinding in their intensity as to merit appropriate eye gear. Of course, it's also due to the fact that I have headaches which are exacerbated by lights, and that is also a harsh reality of life. But nevertheless, these issues which I've been coming across recently have been causing me to become more introspective lately, and to kind of look back at my life and reevaluate the situation, reevaluate my perspectives and my outlook, particularly from a young age, having been an optimist all of my life, believing in the innate human talent that everyone has, and I still believe that, but being raised in a privileged society with middle-class parents which were also very optimistic, disparaging a cynical or pessimistic way of thinking, I came to view life as something that you enjoy. Life is something that if you realize what your skills are, you will become successful no matter what, as long as you maintain virtue, self-respect, faith, hope, and love, the fruits of the spirit, and a certain amount of responsibility. You take on responsibilities, and you are true to your word, and those innate skills in you, those latent qualities, will come out and be recognized, and will help you in whatever career that you see. And you must discover your skill and your abilities that you have inside in order to make the correct choice in your career path. And if you do that, if you make the correct choice in the career path, then success will come to you. And I still kind of believe that because it's been battered into my brain for so many years, not only by my parents, but also by many inspirational speakers, preachers, teachers, etc. From school and church and even in politics, this kind of optimistic way of life and way of thinking is very popular. And I don't want to particularly blame any one party. My parents aren't completely to blame for this. They are a little bit more realists than complete optimists, but have always disparaged a pessimistic point of view. That being said, I really, really do value logic and reason above just plain optimism, which has given me a little bit of leeway in my belief as to how successful I would be. But I never in my entire life imagined what would happen to me and how wrong I was about how life is for everyone in general. Because, lo and behold, at the age of 12 or 13, I would say, I started getting extremely sick with multiple different diseases. And I won't go into the details at all, the grimy, glorious details, but I was destroyed by disease. My body has not been able to take in nutrients for nobody knows why, and I've been ascribed the label of chronic fatigue syndrome. And if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'd know that. Every once in a while I just reference that fact, especially to justify myself when I'm not making videos or being on Twitch. And that has completely changed the way that I've had to come at life, because when I was going to school, I had that very optimistic mentality. I was not a very hard worker at all, even though I had a very good father who looked every bit to be the hardworking man, and is the hardworking man that everyone should idolize. Someone who just takes care of their property and their family to their utmost. And, that spirit is definitely something that has been taught to me, but this kind of sense that success in life and happiness would always be there for me was something I actually held dear and held close to my chest, so to speak. Um, but when sick, uh, nothing is happening to you other than losing out on opportunities, on education, on jobs, which are basically the only tenets of success that you need in the society. As long as you are dedicated to those two things, that you will be successful in some way. I won't say completely successful, because this is what this is about, is losing out and not being successful even when you have everything you should. And I had everything I should, but lo and behold, disease is something that no one ever expects. There's never really a way to prepare for having a disabling illness or accident happen to you. But it happens all the time to so many people in the world. Maybe less in the US, but it happens so much to people in the US, and it is very, it is not talked about very much. It's very under the table. Not something that anyone thinks of or can prepare for. And it made it so that I could not find success, even if I had these latent skills and abilities, which I do. I'm a very good musician. I, have the ability to learn very quickly if given the chance. I have really learned public speaking recently from doing these videos in particular. Good at art in general, pretty good line drawer, artist. But, all of these things don't mean squat if you are actually unable to get out of your house. And that's something that I've learned. Even in this internet age, there are not that many online jobs to be found that support these abilities. I'm also very good at literary critique, I would say so. At least I have the mind for English and literature. Not that I'm the best at it, but I would say these are abilities that I have that could be molded and shaped. And this is another thing that I think that I got wrong, was that innate skill and talent means nothing if you don't take the bull by the horns and shape and craft the skills that you have for all you're worth. If you don't actually put in tons of time to the skills and the abilities that you have, then you might as well not have them. There are definitely different things that people have aversions to, and there are certain things that people have inclinations toward. Definitely. But you're not going to be, the best at a certain thing without actually working on it. Even Mozart himself, the child savant that he was, did not become an amazing musician just by laying around and doing nothing. He spent his entire childhood working on music and listening to music and applying music. And even if it took him a relatively small amount of time to do that, he spent the time necessary for him to cultivate those techniques, those skills that he had an inclination toward. And that's what skill is. It isn't immediate success once you reach a certain age, or get past a certain educational level, or reach an arbitrary level of job security, which is exactly what I was expecting. And being ill has definitely given me something of a perspective on these things, being able to see and judge people other people in jobs and in their education and in their arts and crafts and different things, with a kind of, pulled back eye, a more critical way of looking at life, because I'm not in life in a way. I'm not someone who is in the workforce. I'm not in education, which, they call a NEET, really. And I think this stuff really does make that clear. I have a lot of time on my hands to commit to hobbies, which, when you have a little bit of an inclination, you can make your hobby your job. But this is where the rubber meets the road. This is what I've been getting at for my entire video. The entire time I've been talking has been to get to these points. Becoming a YouTuber is a passion project which can become a career. And if you have the capital and the time and the situation handy to make it a career, something that you choose to do, you have to be very intentional about that and be willing to sacrifice a lot just to make it a career, whether or not you actually like doing the thing. I would actually recommend people looking at YouTube as a full-time career before going into it. You can't necessarily have the same expectation that I did, that if you're just kind of a hobbyist at it, it's something you do with your free time, that you'll actually get many views. The way that YouTube has structured themselves and structured their algorithm is to handpick the people that do exactly what they want them to, so that they can say, oh, they are doing that thing, they shall be successful, we'll put them on the front page of YouTube, and things like that. We'll give them opportunities above all the rest. And you can game that system, and you can play that game. And if you do that, you can be successful on YouTube. But there's a lot of grinding involved, even apart from the actual thing that you are doing on YouTube. And so for me, it was like, okay, I've got some. This is a rather unrealistic way to approach it, by the way. So learn from me. I was thinking, when I found out that people were doing YouTube with minimal skill but lots of effort and heart, I thought to myself, yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for me. Someone with latent skills and talents out the wazoo. I will just become a hobbyist, put a video out here, put a video out there, skushy zutsu, skotzi zutsu, and people will see tidbits of brilliance here and there in the internet, and then over the years, people will see that and come flocking all of the sudden to my amazingness, and I will not have even put that much effort into it, but I will suddenly become this magnificent celebrity on YouTube, maybe not the top 10 YouTubers, maybe not even the top 50, but able to make money nonetheless, and able to live, perhaps, off of YouTube, just doing maybe one video a month, or two or three, but really put some effort in to every once in a while, and that will get me over the hump of, the requirements necessary for people to see and recognize my skills. That's not true at all, folks. Nobody cares about your monthly hobbyist routine. Really, they don't. YouTube doesn't. Maybe individuals do. Your group of friends, certain people that you are appealing to, the niche that people enjoy may, be drawn to the type of video that you create. But unless you have lots of friends that you're marketing to, that will just give you free views. I think of Markiplier, who had entire high schools and colleges filled with friends who actually liked him, who supported him through his tough times. You're not going to have a similar experience. And my point is not to discourage anyone from doing that. Some people actually do get overnight celebrity status on YouTube. extremely rare. It's probably more rare than lightning striking twice in the same place, because that stuff actually happens a lot. Okay, lightning striking in the same place twice. Talk about lightning striking the same place 100 times in a second. That's reality for you. That's a harsh reality that is also very intense and very bright and blinding. Um, anyway, so yes, the same thing goes for Twitch. And now I'm going to talk about Twitch a little bit. My experience on Twitch was the exact same. I was thinking, I will do the same thing for Twitch that I do for YouTube. A little stream here, a little stream there, skoshi zutsu, and people will recognize it, see a little bit of skill, see a little bit of talent, particularly my friends, have a little fun on Twitch, and slowly gain subscribers, slowly gain recognition, and make more money on Twitch. And combined with YouTube, I will be a successful artistic superpower on the internet eventually. Just maybe 1 to 3 years, tops. Well, about 7 years into this plan, okay, make it 6. I'll be lenient upon myself. And again, not doing this full time, not doing this more than a couple times a month, 2 or 3 times a month on Twitch, 2 or 3 times a month YouTube video. And so a lot of the time, not even that much effort put in. And very minimal results, extremely minimal. Now, with Twitch, there is a lot more room for growth. The algorithm for Twitch is not so harsh and is not so hyper-specific and different and unique like YouTube's is. I don't know that the data mining is that intense that Twitch does. It has a lot better onboarding for people to come and make an affiliate ship than YouTube is in making a partnership with them. I got an affiliate ship after 2 years tops of doing that kind of streaming. 2 years of doing more intense streaming, because finally I decided after about those 4 or 5 years out of those 6 or 7 that I would actually try to make money on Twitch, because being sick, being ill, I was making no money, and there was really no job I could hold down. So Twitch looked like a better idea than trying to just put tons of effort into YouTube, because you can literally just sit there and play games and react to people's chats. It's not that hard. The thing is, it's hard to do it for more than a couple hours at a time. And that's, like I said, that's where the rubber meets the road. If you do it full time, for months, years, you will definitely make money, assuming you have thousands of dollars saved up in hardware. So the same is true for YouTube and as it is for Twitch. You don't need gaming computers and stuff for YouTube unless you're going into YouTube gaming, but for Twitch, you are expected to be a gamer. And if not a gamer, we won't get into the whole Twitch thoughts idea, but you have to have some really good setups, because people will be judging you and viewing you and not viewing you based on your streaming quality, based on the quality of your camera, the quality of the games you're playing, the recency, is that a word, of the games you are playing, the console you're doing it on, if you're doing a console, your setup of the type of computer, the desktop computer you have, and the graphics cards and all of that stuff. It all goes into it. And so you really need that capital to put into that as a career. It is an investment to start doing Twitch. I did not have the capital necessary. I had a new laptop with a very good CPU, Intel i7, but with a horrible GPU and very bad internet. and a used PS4 that was not a Pro PS4, and no microphone except for the onboard laptop. And I bought really crappy microphones and a crappy camera, which pooped out on me after a year. Both, and then the microphone crapped out after 2 years. So not a lot of money put into it. And finally, the laptop that I'm still using, which I've used for 5 or 6 years, ever since I started doing anything on YouTube or Twitch, is probably about to die. There are lines all over the screen from bending the laptop to get the camera in the correct place. And yeah, it's about to die. So my Twitch affiliateship will still be there no matter when I come back to it. But I may lose followers, I may lose subscribers, and I will not be able to stream on it anytime soon until I get that setup that I so desperately need, but I can't make money because I'm not on Twitch. So that's the reality that hit me in the face, is that my skill isn't getting me anywhere, and it probably wouldn't get me anywhere even if I had the setup. It's the intentionality and the effort. It is the workmanship that gets you places in this world. A person with a better work ethic is going to become more successful no matter what than a person with skills and good abilities, innate, latent, or otherwise, talents, who doesn't have a good work ethic. It doesn't matter what skills you have if you don't have that work ethic to just keep going at it, to do the hard thing, to talk to the people, to go out of your way, to make the money before you start on an artistic project, to actually put good hardware into it, to put good quality materials into your arts. That is invaluable, because no matter what you go into, that ethic is going to be way more valuable to people employing you. And YouTube is your employer. Twitch is your employer if you're on those platforms. So, yes, I've become less optimistic in that way, because really, health matters a whole lot in terms of success. And I'm talking about business here. I'm not talking about spiritual well-being. I'm not talking about peace on the inside, because I can have that without being successful. And that's a whole different video. That is a whole different series of videos. That's a whole different channel. But maybe I'll talk about that some more. But I just want to take down some romantic views I had and view them more realistically and say it's better to have a good work ethic than to be an ideologue, than to be someone who looks at reality and says, you know what, anyone can do anything. That's not true. Only the hardest working among us can do anything, even in a free society. But, hey, there are things like for people like me to do, such as Twitch and YouTube, that are available. But my goodness, if it isn't difficult to raise money in this day and age. So I don't want to make this, an ad for myself, marketing my GoFundMe page, but if you want to give to the cause of keeping me on YouTube and keeping me on Twitch, then you can go to my GoFundMe page. Yeah, I'll be trying to be more workmanlike in my approach to video making and in my approach to Twitch, if I can ever get that hardware I talk of. But yes, that is the point, right? To be positive about it, to take a positive message away from this, I must decide, and we must decide, as a society, that no matter what, we will be committed to improving ourselves and being more responsible for ourselves, and knowing anything bad can happen at any time. This is just realism. Accidents happen all the time, and we can't prepare for them at all. Diseases happen all the time, and we cannot prepare for them at all. But if we know these things, and we are informed as to how to deal with them, then even if they do happen, we can be that much more prepared, and maybe even prevent them. And those are the things that we need to work hard to actually discover as a society: how to prevent diseases like mine. Yes, to be someone who works hard no matter the season of their life is something that I have not yet learned, and I still need to put it to work. This newfound knowledge that even though I am sick and in bed about between 12 and 24 hours a day, there are still things I can do to be progressive and to be workmanlike, to do the chores that I can do, to take care of my body, of course, first and foremost, to take care of yourself, and then do those things which will help others and to make life easy for others, and then think about your career, and then think about how you could further your own hobbies and your entertainment in your life. Because being responsible for your life and for other people's lives will be far more fulfilling than any entertainment that we pleasure ourselves with in this society. Even though we have tons of entertainment, that can never fulfill us as much as a good, honorable, modest workday. Of course, the entertainment industry, I will definitely say, is something that really does help the quality of life, even for those who do work among us really hard. And it has, for myself, kept me from depression and suicide. Things like anime, video games, literature, the arts are all things that lift the spirits. And these are things that definitely need to be focused on in everyone's life. There needs to be taken time for these things, for everyone. I'm not saying everyone should be into anime or everyone should be completely into literature or completely into movies like I am, but everyone should be exposed to these things to know if they do like them, and to go out of their way to try and appreciate a piece of art that they have not yet seen. If you can do this, you should. Put a schedule into your life. Schedule it in. Put some time in to appreciate and enjoy some art that is positive. Because it will increase your quality of life, even if you are working to your fullest. And if you're not, it may be one of the few things that keep you alive, as, like I said, anime and literature and movies has. So yes, that is the end of my little rant. I think I could have said a lot more about my history, but we don't need to get into all of that detail. Thanks for watching. Again, the link to my GoFundMe is in the description below. Click that if you are working hard and are already making money and are able to support someone else. It will maybe even give you higher quality of life knowing that you have helped someone else. It will definitely make my day if you do that. So, thanks again for watching, and until next time, farewell.